Hey everybody, Robin Felix Finch here, the broke law student. And I know it's been a while. How have you been? I'm just here studying. I've got one of these rooms to myself. I haven't made anything crazy on this whiteboard yet, but I'm just here doing just a little reading in civil procedure. And I figured I'd take a small break and let you guys know kind of what's going on. I've wanted to keep things updated. It's on me. You've got to find time, and I figured right now I'll just find some time. So what's happening? First off, classes are, law school is, it is more intense than I thought it would be. I will readily admit that. It's interesting because I know that in the end it's not going to come down to just knowing the right answer, but knowing more of the right answer than the rest of my class. And with this being the largest class that Emory Law has ever admitted, I'm very nervous to see kind of where things shake out. We do have a midterm in torts in a couple weeks, and our contracts professor is considering giving us a midterm-ish sort of thing. So I'm just gonna wait and see how that ends up going. Let me tell you about classes though. I'll go with them in the order of like how I feel in them. So first off, Civ Pro, love it, great class. Civil procedure is one of those things that, because I listen to a lot of Law and Chaos, I hear a lot about this stuff and I find this super interesting. So Andrew Torres was my gateway drug into this, and now I'm just loving seeing all these interesting things in civil procedure that I've seen play out a lot in the last couple administrations. So that's been fun. And plus, I've got Dean Freer. I have the man that wrote the book on civil procedure for civil procedure. I've got the man who has helped so many through Barbary pass civil procedure. So I'm feeling very comfortable where I am. Let's see. Next up, let's talk a little about contracts. I actually am surprised I like contracts, because I thought contracts was going to be the most boring class. But you know what? The professor I have, Simon, she's very excited about it. She loves talking about it. So that enthusiasm drips through. It's a little weird because it feels like a lot of this case law just, it's amazing how much we learn and then have to go, but that's not the rule anymore. Because, apparently time changes things. It's a Stanley. What else? Oh yeah, torts. Torts, I think, is probably another really interesting book because it's, again, my smallest book, and it really just gives us snippets of cases. And I think one of the things is that every professor teaches it somewhat differently. So we're trying to see kind of how the order goes between us. So as cross sections, we can't really share notes or do study group together with that because we're in kind of different spots. It's weird. I do like my professor, which I think because I have him this semester, I probably won't end up getting him next semester, which is when I would hope he'd be teaching constitutional law, because he'd be a great person to learn constitutional law from. But I'd go further to explain torts, but nobody knows torts here. When you get to law school, for those of you who are applying this year, also good luck. That's going to be insane. You'll figure out torts eventually, maybe. Let's get to legislation and regulation, though. That class, I think, is very cool. To me, it's a lot like a history class. One of the things, though, that is keeping me from throwing this higher up is I'm still not entirely sure what I'm supposed to know in the class. And, because I know a lot of things from the class, but, how that's going to come together in the final, I'm curious to find out. I'm going to look through my syllabi again and see how my finals are going. Because remember, the syllabus is important. And we'll see. And finally, the class giving me the most trouble, but I think is the most important class, on a practical level as a lawyer. And you know what? It has my favorite book, the Blue Book. It's a style guide. It is Da Rules, Los Regulos, the Blue Book. That would be ILARC, legal. It's basically the legal writing course. And again, I'm pretty sure this is the most important class for law students to understand and go through. But legal writing is unlike any writing I've done before. It is interesting because the way it's structured is very specific. I want to get to the point where I can start making interesting briefs, but for right now, just trying to learn the basic ground level of writing for an occupation is a very it's a humbling experience. I've got to say, I spent a significant amount of time as a writer, but now being put into a very specific style of writing, I hope I make it through. A lot of people have made it through law school, but it's like I said, that is the humbling experience where I thought my absolute strength would be, but it turns out it's not. At least not for this particular style. Maybe I'll be able to get creative later. We'll see. But to catch up on some other things, I will be trying to be a 1L rep for a couple organizations. One I already lost out on, which is a shame because it's the group that made me, kind of commit to Emory. One of the groups. I mean, I'm still participating with things, and I can't wait to talk about what I'm doing with that group. It's the Emory Law School Supreme Court Advocacy Program. I think LSCAP, they do some awesome things. I can't wait to talk about it. I am looking at a bunch of different societies right now. Criminal Law Society looks like a lot of fun, and there are also some things going on with like communications and media law and entertainment and sports law. There's a lot of really cool things doing. If there's a labor and employment, that would be nice. I don't see that currently kind of going on, but that's, again, kind of where my interest lies, but we'll see. That's so much of this, because it seems like law school is, it depends. It seems like the life of law, it says it depends, and in law school right now, it's just we'll see. At least here in 1L, because I have no problem in saying that I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on. I'd like to have an idea of what's going on eventually, and I think I will eventually, but for right now, yeah, I'm just doing what I can to make it through. But you know what, guys? I'm going to keep that update right here. I've gotten almost to my 10-minute mark so that I can just try to enjoy myself and relax, take a small break from reading, but I've got to get back in the books. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. If you are in this cycle right now, please let me know down below. Ask me anything about 1L, and I will gladly tell you what I can. It won't be much, but I'll tell you what, at least in my humble opinion, I can to help. Anyway, you can see me here, The Broke Law Student. Catch me on Instagram, TikTok at The Broke Law Student. I do still have a GoFundMe on BrokeLawStudent.com. I've got to move that to a Patreon at some point. And yeah, peace out, party peoples. I have got to get back into the books.